Okay, hello geometry students. Okay, we're going to quickly review, I'm going to go with the types of problems that we're going to see on this exam. These are not the same problems, they're some type of problems. So when you're looking at this and you're doing this, don't put in the same numbers because you will be wrong. Okay, I'm going to do this quickly. So if you have any questions, if you see me do a particular problem, you're like, I don't understand how we did it, either watch it again or I have attached all the videos from last week where we did the final review, and you can just go to those problems in final review and do those. Okay, look at those. I get more in detail. I explain more how to do them. Right now, it's just basically I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. I'm going to go through these relatively fast, just so you have an idea what you're doing today. Okay, so first one is matching. So you guys know all how to do matching. Remember, this is the box when it's put together. This is the box taken apart. You have to imagine what they would look like. Okay, so I went over this really well. Should put it here. Really well the other day. So this hopefully will help you out here. You shouldn't have to think too much about this, but some people might, which is okay. Not everyone has great, what they call spatial awareness. Happens to be my one strength in life. That and good eyesight. That's all I have. So I'm just doing a matching problem. You're matching the box. So that's just going to be the first question. There's different shapes on mine on the final, but same idea. Okay. Now, next two problems, questions 2 and 3, are going to be like this. They're going to be more or less using the, which we call congruency laws for triangles. You just have to pick which one is the correct one. And be careful, there's some tricky ones here, like this one. These two share this line, so this is another S. And same thing goes here. And if you notice with these two, I don't know if it's true on the final, but these two are both SSS. I think I might have one SSS on the final. I don't know if it's two. Remember, you cannot use the donkey rule. No donkey rule, right? Because you're an ASS if you use it. So don't do the donkey rule. Okay? All right, let's get to the next two. This triangle problem, it's similar triangles, proportion. So what we do is we're going to set up a cross multiplication problem. So I'm going to do big side over little side. Big side over little side. Keep them matched up really nice. I want everyone to make sure they have the decimalist calculator open if you don't own a calculator. 5 times x, 5x, equals 8 times 7.5. I don't know that. So what I'm going to do is just do it in my calculator. This is why you should have a calculator. You should check and double check all your math. You have all day to do this. This is your only true responsibility for today is to finish my geometry region. So if it takes you 6 hours, I would love that. I would love you to take 6 hours and make sure you hand me 100. Do it for a couple of hours in the morning, after breakfast, and have a nice lunch, your favorite lunch in the world. And then come back for a couple hours in the afternoon, maybe take a walk, FaceTime your friends, and then come back and do it for another couple of hours, and have a wonderful dinner. And maybe at like 7 o'clock after dinner, you go back and you double check all your work one last time before you submit it to me. That'd be a great strategy. That's what I would do. 5 divided by 5, it's 1, equals x. 60 divided by 5, I'm going to absolutely make sure I get this right, 12. So this side, x, is 12 centimeters. This next one even says, use the Pythagorean theorem. If you remember, Pythagorean theorem is this. Okay, so maybe something to write down on this piece of paper right here over this question. C is always the hypotenuse, and hypotenuse is always across on the right angle. It's always the biggest side. So I have 2, 3, and whatever that number is, I'll call this x. That's what I want to find. So 3 is definitely my c. C is always the hypotenuse. So I'm going to put 3 squared here. Equals b squared, 2 squared, plus x squared. X squared I'll leave because I don't know what x squared is yet. 2 squared. Remember, when you're squaring something, it's different than multiplying. In this case, it's 4, but it's not that way. 3 squared is not 3 times 2. Not. It's 3 to the second power, and that's 9. Okay, so now I'm going to solve this. -4 here, -4 here, 5. Now, x squared equals 5. Now, this next part here is I have to just remember how to do this. Take the square root. The square root of x squared is just x. And the square root of 5, I would accept that as an answer because you cannot technically reduce this radically. You can't simplify it. But if you really want to give me the exact answer, which is okay, it's 2.23. So x is 2.23 is the actual answer in centimeters. I think on the one I do, it should come. The square root should come out to a whole number. Okay. This one might be the one that requires a little bit more work. Okay. So there's 2 ways to do this. So if you can print it out or you can do it on your screen, you have a nice touch screen, you can count. 4 right, 3 down. 4 right. Take each dot, do them one at a time. The biggest mistake I ever see people do with this is they try and move everything at once. Don't do it. 1, 2, 3. So that would be your A. Okay, actually I'll do it in red here because they do it in red. Then this one, 4 right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 down. This one, 4 right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3 down. And you get the triangle rewritten like that. Perfect. Okay? Don't try and do them all at once. The other way is if you don't want to do it that way, you can use it mathematically. Okay? So this translation, t, is really called 4 plus, and 3 down is negative. Remember, well, go into the video and watch. I think this is probably day 3 or 4 when I do this problem. And do this. So this all it means is I'm taking the numbers. X gets plus 4, and y gets minus 3. Because this is always the x, this is always the y. So I then have to find out what all these are. Well, A is equal to that coordinate there. I'm going to call this one my A. Remember, those are the primes. So this is A, B, C. Okay? So if I'm doing it this way, I take my A, which is -1, 4. My B, which is 0, 1. And my C, which is, this way you can show your work to me, and I know what you're doing. Okay, so this could get you partial credit even if you mess up here. So I think this one's actually a smart way to do it. Might take you a little longer, but remember, you have all day. Remember, you can do this one after lunch. Make this your project after lunch. And your y is possible. Okay, so with all of those, for this transformation, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the x, I'm going to add 4 to it. 1 plus 4. Well, -1. Here, 0 plus 4. And here, -5 plus 4. Now I'm going to work on all the y's. Well, every y has to be subtracted by 3. So 4 minus 3. 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3. Next step, do the math. Simple math. It's addition, right? The only trick here is there's some negative numbers. -1 plus 4 is 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. Do them in the calculator. I'm not doing it to save time here. 4. 0 plus 4 is 4. And 1 minus 3 is negative 2. I'm checking these numbers in the calculator. Negative 1. Negative 2. Okay, simple problems. Then I can go back. That's all you would have to do is say, well, this is A prime, B prime, and C prime. So you have that. All right, next one. Area of a rectangle, right? It says area of the following shape. I make it tricky. I don't tell you what the shape is, but you should know area. This is a rectangle. And area of a rectangle is base times height. I'm going to make my base 13. I'm going to take my height and make it 17. Base times height, 13 times 17 is 221. Remember the units. It's meters, so 221 meters, and area is always square. Okay, that's question 7. Question 8. I just got to look at this. Remember, it was the one I did the experiment, if you remember, with the butter, cutting the butter. Imagine this is like I guess maybe icy, it looks like. And if you cut it with a knife, right, like that way, what would you get? Well, in this case, you get a circle. But imagine, like, when you opened it up, what it would look like, what these two shapes on each side would be. They'd be circles. And not too bad, multiple choice, right? Next one, volume. Volume of a cylinder is, this is important today. All right, so you watch the video. Volume is equal to pi r squared times h. R is radius. H is height. What I give you here is the diameter. Be careful, right? So I have this circle and I multiply it by the height. So volume is equal to pi. R, well, this is diameter. This is the radius, this blue thing I just put in here. That is my radius. So what I have to know about radius is half of the height. So if this is 12, half of 12 is 6. I have to square it times the height, which is 13. Now, if you have the calculator right by, this should be pretty easy. If you can't find the pi button on your calculator, you could substitute in pi with 3.14, and we'll get you in the neighborhood. Okay, and remember, 6 squared, it's not 6 times 2, it's 6 times 6. It's 36. And 13. Multiply those 3 numbers together. I'm going to use pi because I know how to use pi on my calculator. So I go second pi. We put 6 squared here. Well, I did 36 already, but I'm going to just show you can do it on the calculator. 6 squared, close parentheses, times 1, 3. And the exact number you get would be 1470. I'm going to round to the nearest foot. So 1470 square feet. Now, if I was using 3.14, let's see how close it would be. You will see how it's very close. $1469.5. When you round it up, it's 1470. So 3.414. If you don't know where the pi button is on your calculator, is a nice little thing to do. Okay, so we're getting near the end. I think we have 3 questions left. Okay, first one is my transversals and parallel lines. Remember, there's really only 2 answers for every one of these angles. All vertical angles are congruent. Also, corresponding angles, same angle in a different, 106, 106, 106, right? All in the same spot. And the other part of the pattern is what's the x? Well, this plus this equals 180 because they make a straight line, these 2 angles. And a straight line is 180. So 160, I keep saying 160, 106 plus x equals 180. I subtract 106 from both sides, and I get the magic number of x equals 72. So x equals 72. But remember, this is also 72, this is 72, this is 72. Use this to your advantage. It's a simple pattern. Take your time. Next one, this is a straight line. A straight line is 180 degrees. This one's 43. So whatever x is here, x plus 43 equals 180. Subtract 43 from both sides. Do it in your calculator. Don't try to do it in your head. Even if you do it in your head, check your numbers. And it's equal to 137. Okay, so this x here is 137 degrees. One last question. Now you got here, this is a 90 degrees because you see this little box here. So I know x plus this equals 90 degrees. So x plus 40 must equal 90. So I subtract 40 from both sides. 90 minus 40 is 50. I will still check it on my calculator if I was doing this for real. 50 degrees, so this is 50 degrees. All right, guys, have a good day. I'm going to try and put a link into where you can reach me for some help. I'm actually probably just going to be this link from our class. So I'm saving this, I'm uploading it, and I'll be up soon if you need any questions. Get this done. Remember, you have unlimited time. All right, have a good one, guys.